Alright guys, let's talk about the squad leader role. I'll make a little guide for you guys because I noticed there's so many squads these days that don't have a squad leader. And it has a lot to do with actually the Game Pass and its users, that many people can actually try the game now without having to pay for it. So I think this is very good, don't get me wrong. I think we need many new players in the game to keep it alive, but at the same time the quality of the games went down by quite a bit. And with this video I want to give you some tools to actually try the squad leader role and not make it too overcomplicated. Because in the end, I think most players don't try this role because it seems quite intimidating and it can be pretty complex if you really get into it, but it doesn't have to be at all. I think if you don't see a squad with a squad leader, you should just try and pick that role up and do it yourself. Because in the end this will make the game much better for everyone and it really doesn't have to be too complicated. You can actually play just like another role, but you have much more control of how the match will actually develop. When you pick the role, I recommend just focusing on two different things, and that's building OPs, outposts, which are spawn points for your squad. You can just take the compass from your inventory and just place one down. Because as a squad leader you actually have the best guns in the game, and you actually have even something better, which is this OP, which is essentially 6 guns. So if you take it with you and you can place it somewhere, you actually have a lot of firepower that you can just deploy in the field immediately. So if you just focus on placing these OP, you can also focus on placing garrisons when you can. You sometimes see supplies on the map somewhere that someone else has dropped, maybe a support or maybe the commander with a supply drop or a supply truck. And you could actually take the same compass and actually drop a garrison, which is a spawn point for the entire team.
Gary up, but it's really hard inside the point. Gary up, that's hard inside the point.
If you focus on these two things specifically, you can actually play the role like any other class. And I mean, there's much more to it, but if you just do that, many of the games will improve significantly for all players in the game. And the thing is, if you do start doing this and you keep focusing on just placing your spawn points and fighting in the game, at some point the game will start to click and you want a support in your squad so you can actually drop the garrisons in the places you want them to be in, and that's when you will start becoming better at being a squad leader.
Alright, Price, let's make a backup Gary somewhere, maybe to the west a little. Maybe at the move marker.
Because there's other stuff that squad leader can do as well. I mean, you can mark stuff on the map for your squad, you can talk with the other squad leaders, come up with strategies and all that stuff. But in the beginning you don't need it. You just need only to place these spawn points and just do your thing. There's also another thing that's kind of an annoying aspect of being a squad leader, and that's the command chat, because you have the commander and the other squad leaders that are talking, even though that's a luxury at times in matches if nobody talks, of course. But I recommend going to the audio options and just set a volume for your own squad that you can understand them, but just make the command chat a bit lower in volume so you don't get like super distracted by all this stuff. And this way, if you can at least hear them if they ask you to drop a garrison somewhere, you can just focus on the battle, focus on your own squad, and things will gradually become better and better and you start to understand the game better. So my main takeaway is just focus on spawn points. If you play many games like this, you'll start to notice that the games become a lot more fun because people are actually staying together, your team starts winning, and you start to want to learn more about placing markers and all this stuff.
Yeah, just ping everything and I'll mark it on the map.
So what I also recommend doing while you're placing the spawn points and just walking through the map is actually telling the squad what you're going to do.
Yeah, let's stick to defense for now. Let's spread out around the point so they don't get into the sectors.
Yep. So for example, if you place an OP somewhere, you want to invade a certain town, just tell them, okay, I'm dropping a new OP, please spawn on it. We're now going to attack this objective, for example, and maybe nobody talks back and it doesn't matter, people hear you. And in my experience, usually people start to talk at some point, and that's actually the moment that the game becomes a lot of fun, because when you get your little community and your squad going and people are starting to work together, that's when Hell Let Loose really shines.
Alright, let's just focus on defense for a second. Did we find where they were coming from?
I'm gonna check northwest. I never saw anybody though.
Alright.
And that's also when you can decide to try the other aspects of squad leading, because if you have a couple of people that are talking, you can ask people to be a support, you can ask someone to be an engineer, you can ask them to build some nodes and do some other stuff, and you can only get to this point if someone is a squad leader and nobody will do it, so you have to do it yourself. This is just the way the game is played, this is just the way the game becomes the most fun, It isn't a running simulator this way anymore, and that's also another reason for to be a squad leader, because if you bring your OP with you, you have your own spawn point with you, so it's never a running simulator if you are a squad leader. That's the whole thing. And as I mentioned, many people just don't want to do it because it seems so complicated and there's so much responsibility involved, but it's not the case. You can just bring your OP, make your Garys if you have the chance, and that will just make the game a lot more fun. I do recommend, when you get this down, to actually start watching some other guides about being a squad leader so you can get more in-depth information and make some better decisions. But in the end, especially with how the player base is at the moment, you don't need that stuff. We need more squad leaders, we need to make the game better, and this is better for everyone involved, you know. And also, by the way guys, if you enjoy watching videos about Hell Let Loose and also maybe some other like large-scale tactical shooters such as Squad, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because you might enjoy the content. Another good point about being a squad leader is you're actually starting to see the big picture of the game. So you see what other squad leaders are doing, you see what the commander's trying to do, you understand how the economic system in the game starts to work. And this is actually what makes Hell Let Loose quite different from other shooters, so it also gives you a new perspective on the game. So my main point of this video is just be a squad leader, just do it. Like the meme from Shia LaBeouf or whatever you pronounce his name like. Because this is just how the game is played, this is what you absolutely should do, and you might start to enjoy it.
Bomb and run just hit the point, they're planning a push again I think.
Friendly bomb and run coming through Freeport Battery, easy.
Okay, we lost the Gary, let's regroup at the point.
Can you give me a supply?
Make sure our tank doesn't get destroyed. Let's defend it, let the observe.
Guy in the guys.
Hey, command, light truck just left their spawn.
Copy. New drop for friendly airhead and it is up. Need it.
Okay, pushing in again, they're at the point.
Baker Mark enemy garrison.
Ooh, nice find. Okay, there's an enemy garrison on the garrison marker. I think they might be coming from the west too though. Oh, I see a lot of smokes there too, yeah. Observe. Alright, it's about 15 minutes left. And then we won as long as we keep this objective. Let's just focus heavy on defending.
No luck up there. Not saying give up,
Copy, but
but main focus is AA at this point. We're dropping 10 to the mid HQ. Nobody wants it.
So basically we're gonna harass with one squad, the rest will defend. So hopefully we can play it safe.
Mikey, I killed 2 over on the H6 Gary, so I don't know if they're pushing from the side.
Where do you guys shoot again?
Yeah. To the east.
Fight squad, once you take
Roger.
three, you're
Okay, they're coming from the east.
Let me go to AA.